met with the president, and of course, it was supposed to be a closed-door session, isn't it?
Exactly.
Are there any such thing as behind closed doors? Or maybe closed doors to some people, but not closed door to, of course, not to everybody, because it's only closed as much as they want it to. But after that visit, of course, I mean, newsmen were there, journalists were there, and then they put a few questions to him, including if he is going to defect to the APC. And there are reasons why those questions come through, because most times when, you know, you have some governor gentlemen, I was even thinking, I was going to say governor women and men, but so far governor men. So when they come out of that kind of meeting, you know what to expect. But is that what we would expect in this case? Let's have a listen to what he said to news people.
You know, all Nigerians must be concerned about, you know, welfare of our people. What are the governance issues? This issue of insecurity, poverty alleviation. I mean, there are things that has no coloration of a party. As leaders, you know, whether president or governor of a state, those are things that we have to work together, consult with one another, and ensure that we can make life one shade better for our people. Sure. No, I'm comfortable in the PDP. And again, we may have issues in this country where you need bipartisan approach, where it won't be an issue of maybe APC talking alone or PDP talking alone, where we will have to look at what is the best foot forward, you know, in the interest of our nation. So when you get to that junction, you need everybody on board.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, sir.
You know, for some reason, there are those who thought he was tongue-in-cheek.
The first thing he said, Chimling, my guess is they asked him why he was there. And he said the president is not the president of APC alone. He's the president of Nigeria.
Yeah, sure.
That was the first thing he said, and there are things that, you know, bind us together. And then they asked him that question about, you know, whether he was going to be defecting to the PDP, beg your pardon, to the APC as his colleagues have done. And that's when he said he was comfortable in the PDP. Well, clearly, as you said, it was supposed to be a closed-door meeting. That's why we're wondering how it is that a former governor of Ekiti State now knows the things that he knows about that meeting, because he also released a statement as to what he said happened in the villa. He said the true story of what happened in the villa where Governor Makinde visited the president today. That was yesterday. He said first Governor Makinde demonstrated that he now lacked enough courage. Some analysis why he's also talking about it. He says enough courage to face the president alone. He had to enlist the support of the Plateau State governor.
Really?
So I was looking at that visual. You can see, I didn't see the governor of Plateau State, but, you know, maybe this is what they wanted us to see, because these days, not all the cameras are allowed into the presidential chambers or even into FEC meeting. They usually will have one standard person go in and take the pictures and then distribute it to the rest of the journalists. So we cannot see that. I can't see him coming out of that particular video. I don't know whether that nullifies or that it's very unclear, really. But I can only speak from what I can see. But according to former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, he says that the governor of Plateau State was there, and no, the governor of Plateau State has now defected to the All Progressives Congress. He says that the president said if it was about official matters regarding Oyo State, he would listen to him. But if it had to do with politics and any claim that it was Wike that angered him to go on TV to accuse him, the president, of plotting to turn the country into a one-party state, it is better to, as usual, go on TV to say all that Mr. Makinde had to say. And he was told pointedly that he can't come to the closet on political matters to eat his words while saying another thing to the public. Now, I'm unclear as to how Governor beg your pardon, Mr. Ayodele Fayose, got this piece of information. I don't know how he got it, but I do know that in meetings like this, there are other people who are privy to the meeting. There are people who will be seated there on the inside who might not be visible. After all, there will be people who will be taking notes. For instance, if the president makes any promise or gives his word on anything, there are people who ought to follow up on behalf of the president. Yeah. I do not know that the governor will be allowed any of his aides to come into that sort of meeting. But anyways, it was, he said, lastly, the president made it clear to Mr. Makinde that Wike is someone who supports and consistency. He, that's the president, can't deny or wish away. Therefore, if Mr. Makinde has issues with Wike, that is between the two of them, and he should be left out of it as the president. That's why Makinde told the press that he's comfortable in PDP. It's because of the reality that there's nothing for him in APC.
So he was trying to join APC?
It's unclear. It's unclear. We have to ask Mr. Fayose, how did you come about this information? Were you a fly on the wall? Were you listening in on the conversation? Did you get this from... do you think it was there because of this? And, how can we stand on your information? Then we also have to wait on Mr. Makinde to say, okay, because it was after that his initial interview that, Mr. Fayose came out with his own conversation that, there was a 30 billion naira that the president, because I think in that interview, maybe he said something to the effect that he has not received any support from the federal government. And Mr. Fayose says that is not true. And he released something to support that, even though it doesn't clearly state that. But Mr. Makinde didn't. He said, we're not saying that we haven't received anything from the president. We get some, anyways, that is...
So that means they will likely release something after this statement too?
It's unclear. It's unclear. But look at this. He said after the meeting, shouldn't Makinde tell the people of Oyo State if he has returned the 30 billion naira he admitted to have received from the federal government as intervention fund for the January 2023 Ibadan explosion? So they're still on. There's still beef, as we'll say in social media parlance, between the two of them as to what exactly transpired with that 30 billion or 25 billion. But this is where we are in this conversation. Wow. Clearly something to perhaps follow up if you like political gist, as I do.
Well, add to that, so does it mean that after that press conference that he had, where everybody thought there's no way he's going to go to the APC, and now with this, you're suggesting that he's trying to join the APC, and then they just slammed the door in his face saying, no, nothing for you here.
I doubt it very strongly. I doubt it very strongly, Chamberlain, because don't forget, the governor of Oyo State was the one who hosted the convention which they prevented. And, they tried to prevent in the court. They went ahead and held it. It was in his state that Wike was, expelled from the party, and a host of other people were expelled from the party. And afterwards, it didn't just stop there. They've also tried to take over the PDP secretariat. So it wasn't just stopping at words. And after that, he gave that press conference where he, media chat. So I doubt very strongly that he can do all of that and then still be seeking to go through the back door to enter the... That will be... I don't know if he will have any integrity left after that.
Well, remember, there were many people who doubted strongly, too, that the Rivers State governor would join the APC. After all that back and forth with the way he was treated, and people stood by him, therefore, at the end of the day, he's in APC now.
It's interesting, though, for the Rivers State governor, people actually support his move,
Okay.
He still supports his move, and I think he still has a following, in spite of his joining. I'm sure people were disappointed, but...
It's politics.
Let us not talk too much.
It is politics.
It's a game of wait and see.
So you never know.